Hello, welcome to Community Chat on Revive FM. I'm Neandra. I'm the Arts and Culture Editor and Chief Reporter for Newham Voices, which is an independent
community newspaper in Newham. So, getting a bit of feedback there. Apologies for the tech issues. So, okay, we're good to go. Okay, sorry about that. So, Community Chat is basically 30 minutes of arts and culture and 30 minutes of sports. So, for the first half an hour, we're going to be chatting sports with some Bonaventures. Now, before we get chatting to the studio guests, I just want to mention a couple of news headlines, one of them which is actually going to be in the June edition of Newham Voices, and that is Rio Ningamara. I must kind of like virtually give him his flowers. I mentioned him on the first show because he made history, because he's the youngest goal scorer at Anfield and he's 17 and he's from Newham and he's recently just won some awards as well. So clap, clap, clap. Every time I just hear his name, I just think it's just amazing, and he's from Newham, so I think it's really important that everyone knows that and we acknowledge that. He plays for Liverpool, but he's from Newham. So well done, congratulations to him. Very excited to see what he comes up with and what he does. I mean, it's amazing, he's brilliant. So, as I said, for the first half an hour, we're going to be chatting sports with the sports department, and we have our guest in the studio is Simon.
Yeah.
And Simon is the head of PE at St Bonaventures. And St Bonaventures is based in Forest Gate, and I'm very excited to have a guest in the studio today because the sports department, what they do previously, what they do at the moment, is just amazing. So it's good to have you in the studio. Thank you for coming in.
Yep, thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Excellent. So how long have you been at St Bonaventures?
So this is my 10th year. Yeah, I moved here from Belfast and got into St Bonaventures pretty quickly. I've been there 10 years now. Don't want to leave.
Brilliant, cool. So actually, I've just got another piece of news which I'm going to include before we get chatting. So Soccer Aid for UNICEF is taking part at the London Stadium at the end of May, 31st of May, and I was invited to interview some of the supporters for Soccer Aid for UNICEF, and one of the supporters I interviewed was Jordan Banjo. So we're going to play a little clip from his interview now.
So we've got Nitro, who's going to be taking part, Gladiator. So if you had a gladiator name, what would it be?
Oh, that's such a good question. Okay. Oh, Nitro, it's epic.
Yeah.
It's quick, it shows you what you want. I would probably be like Sloth or something like that. I'm a little bit lazy when it comes. I'll probably let contestants win if I was a gladiator.
Oh no.
Guys, get yourself through. Yeah, Sloth. That's my gladiator name.
That you'll be Sloth. It would be literally Sloth.
Yeah, that'll be me.
And what about the whole leotard thing? How would you feel about that?
I mean, we don't all look as good as Nitro in a leotard, I'll tell you that for nothing. I'm not sure. I've got that odd physique as well, where it might be a little bit tight on the shoulders, but it'd be quite baggy around the thighs still.
Yeah.
I've got a shape like SpongeBob. It just wouldn't look good on me.
3, 1.
Hello and welcome back to Community Chat on Revive FM. As I said, for this first half an hour, we're going to be chatting sports with some Bonaventures. So, Simon, we have in the studio today. Now, I feel like there needs to be kind of like a roll call of who your alumni is. I know one of them is Jermaine Defoe, who is obviously England career, West Ham. I mean, this is endless. And Divine Mwamba, who also signed for West Ham, Man City, on loan to Stoke. But it's not just football, basketball. So can you just give us an idea about where some of your former students are and where we can keep an eye on them?
Yeah. So obviously we've got Jermaine, who's just went into the management. Obviously, he's probably one of the most recognisable alumni that we have. We've got Divine, as you mentioned, who is currently at Man City and just finished his loan at Stoke. But we've also got several boys that are have went on to scholarships, etc. So some of the year 11s that left last year, we have David Anugo, who's a scholar at Leicester City. We've got Justin Ndicum, who's a scholar at Millwall. We have Barak Yuboa, who's a scholar at Swindon. And we've got Emmanuel Sarpong, who is a scholar at Hull City. So that's football. I was actually lucky to watch Emmanuel last week playing for Hull against Charlton. He informed me about a game he got to play at Charlton, so it was nice to watch him in London. Obviously, Hull's a little bit far for me to get to at the weekends, but nice to see him. But we've got loads of people playing in a range of different sports as well. We've got Sultan, who moved to America to play basketball. He was probably one of our biggest names sort of playing basketball. Fantastic. We've got Obi, who was one of the students that actually came back and visited again, who played for under 20 Great Britain for basketball. But even sort of previous years before that, we've got Christian and Isabella McNeish, who were in martial arts. We've got Peter Bakare, who's represented GB in volleyball. Yeah, this sort of goes on. There's quite a lot. We're very lucky, very blessed. They've had a lot of high-profile sporting alumni.
It's amazing. I mean, when you see, like, for example, you went to go and watch at Hull, I mean, what's that like to kind of see someone who you used to see in your P department actually just out there now?
Honestly, it's quite surreal, and it just makes you feel really proud. Like Emmanuel, I taught for 5 years. He was 11 years old when he came here, so seeing him last week at the Valley, Charlton Stadium, playing in a big game is fantastic. Same with Divine. I was really lucky with Divine that I got to see his full home debut for West Ham, and I don't support West Ham, so it's a big deal for me. But going to watch him and he scored in that game. I think I referenced it at the time. I texted him saying, I can't believe you've got a Tottenham supporter celebrating a West Ham goal, but I couldn't help it. He's obviously someone that I was lucky to teach from the age of 11. Same with all of the boys, really. It's just really proud, really, to see them obviously go out and represent the school, represent themselves, their families, and obviously the borough of Newham so well. Just really proud,
It's amazing. I was at the Dagenham and Redbridge Stadium for year 11?
Yeah.
And he was there, I was there, and it's such a good reflection on what you do as a school, that he came back to support your year 11s, and to have him there, have him in the dugout, have him support, it must have been a lot to the students when they were playing, it's amazing.
Yeah, again, it wouldn't be the first time that they've seen him, but it was fantastic for him to, I think, just show that gratitude of stuff. The teacher, the coach was Mr. Bartlett. He, again, would have took a lot to do with Divine as well as myself during his time at school. So just to see him kind of have that recognition and come back for him, but also, as you said, for the boys. In that year 11 team, there's a young boy called Zion who's at Charlton, and he's got the scholar there for next year. So that's fantastic. But just even to have some words for him in terms of going into that game and moving forwards. I mean, what words of advice to get that from someone like Divine? But to see him turn up again is just, I think, recognition of the impact that the school's had on him. And again, just obviously Divine's a big name, isn't he, now in Newham, I think, but to us he's just the, sort of the boy that we taught. And I think whilst he is a fantastic footballer, there's no doubting about that, I do think it's nice to see when they come back. It just reminds me that obviously, even more importantly, they're the boys are good young sort of human beings as such, which again just sort of makes us quite proud of their journey.
It's a really good reflection, because not only they also come to the school as well. So I think I saw Jermaine, he came as well, visited, and kind of what impact does having them come to school have on the students? Do you notice the difference? What's the vibe?
First of all, it causes a little bit of chaos. the playgrounds, I think Jermaine's first arrival at the school when I was at St. Paul's was unannounced, and it was madness. The boys were so excited. As I said, I'm a Tottenham season ticket holder, so I was pretty excited to see him as well, to be honest. But just to get them to see them, obviously, and that is something that's achievable. We have loads of boys still at the school now that are at academies, like I mentioned, Zion in year 11. We've got a young lad in year 8 who's at Arsenal, another boy in year 8 at Leighton Orient. So we've got loads of young boys and even other boys that maybe aren't in academies but but can yet still get in the academy football. To see them, to speak to them, we always make sure that they get to have an opportunity to have a chat with them and just listen to their journey and how they've made it, etc. But I think it's quite inspiring for them just to realise how humble they are. First of all, people like Jermaine Devine, we had Chuba Akpom in recently, incredible guy, really down to earth, humble person. Speaking about the impact that Newham had, the impact that St Bonaventure's had on their upbringing, their values, just the guidance that they got at the school. I think it's really good for the young boys that we've got now to listen to that. And yeah, I do genuinely, without sounding cringy, I think it's really inspiring for them to see that it's achievable.
Absolutely, because to know that you can go from playing in the sports department to then playing in the Premier League. Ipswich has just been promoted, so that's another team I'm going to be keeping an eye on. And just to know that, actually, to have that mindset. Hang on a minute, 1 minute I'm playing in my sports hall, the next minute I could be playing at Wembley, I could be playing in a big stadium. So to make that a reality for someone from Newham, considering the narrative that we have about Newham, it's poor, it's pride, this is something positive, and that's just amazing. That's a good reflection on what you're doing in the school, which is why I really wanted to get you guys in the studio, because it's a good reflection of what you're doing.
Yeah, and look, obviously, it's fantastic to hear that. But I think if you speak to those people, they would genuinely attribute the area of Newham as contributing towards, their development. I think that's part of it. It is a bit of a deprived area, but I think that develops so much resilience amongst our young boys, and I wouldn't substitute that for anything. I think resilience in sport is so important if you want to make it. Football in particular, we've talked a lot about football today, but football is such a cutthroat. It's ruthless. So without that resilience, and again coming from Newham, I think it definitely develops a lot of resilience, and I think that's a really good thing. I mentioned Chuba there. The way he spoke about the school and the area of Newham in making him the man that he is today, it definitely plays a big part, and definitely not something to be undervalued. Plenty of fantastic footballers coming from the borough of Newham.
Brilliant. Okay, so I have to address a slight elephant in the room. You mentioned Tottenham. You mentioned Tottenham.
Yeah.
So it's weird because I never thought I would say the words relegation and Tottenham in the same sentence. But obviously, I feel it's between West Ham and Tottenham as to who is actually going to get relegated. I'm slightly team West Ham.
Yeah.
It will just be funny to have Tottenham relegated. I'm just gonna say it, but it's just weird between literally Tottenham and West Ham. So I just feel like you were mentioning Tottenham, so I just feel like that has to be.
Well, I mean, it's particularly funny, if you want to say it, in my family, because so obviously I've been in East London now for 11 years, and I've married into a West Ham family as well. So my wife and my father-in-law are both West Ham season together. So you can imagine my house at the moment. It's tense, shall we say? Yeah.
So are there any recent kind of sports news? I mentioned before I went to the Dagenham Redbridge Stadium to watch all the 11s. Any results that you want to talk about across anything? Cricket, tennis, whatever sports.
Yes, we've every year we've got loads going on. I think it's really important to say that we're really blessed. We're lucky to have loads of sporting success, but we're also lucky that we do a lot of sport for maybe not the elite level too, which is fantastic. We've got loads going on every single week. But some of the recent successes, obviously football-wise, we've got the Year 11s that were in the London Cup final last week at Dagenham and Redbridge, which, as you mentioned, you were lucky to attend. We also have the Year 9s who are in the same London Cup final, so that's due to be played after half term. I think that's going to be played in North London at, we're not sure yet, but hopefully a similar appropriate venue, because that's a big one for them. In basketball this year, we got to quarterfinals of National Trophy in Year 9, last 16 in Year 11. And our Year 10s won the Essex Cup for basketball, which was a big achievement because we hadn't actually entered that in quite some time, so that was really good. We had to go out into Essex to win that, which was nice. We haven't entered in that in quite some time, and one of our year 10s, Chiron. He's playing for England for basketball, so he's been
Wait, sorry.
that.
Wait. Circle back on that. Do you say he's playing for England?
Yeah, so he plays for England and basketball. Chiron does. He's really good. His younger brother's at the school as well. He's doing really well. But Chiron, so he was away. I can't remember what break it was. Maybe around October half term. I can't remember, but he was away representing England in 2 different tournaments. We posted a little bit about it at the time, doing really, really well. So proud of his achievements as well. And in year 7 and 8, we are hoping to get to junior NBA finals. So both of those teams top their group in junior NBA. So hopefully get into junior NBA finals in June with both year 7 and 8. So that's pending. So another good season in terms of basketball, which has been really good. And
what about handball? You mentioned
handball, yeah. So handball, we've had a lot of success in the last 10 years. Really, we've won a couple of national trophies in handball, and the under-15 team so they're through the nationals. That means they are the South East of England champions. So fantastic. And the under-13s, they didn't get the nationals, but they were regional champions, which was still a good achievement.
Still champions?
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, so the under-15s, they will go to Nottingham in June for a national final. So we're looking forward to that one, for sure.
And then cricket, you mentioned cricket is
yeah. So cricket's one of the sports that we've sort of recently tried to develop a little bit. We've got a new member of staff, Mr. Baker, who's come in, really passionate about cricket, and he's done fantastically well. Got loads of really talented young cricketers. I might even have to read it off. So we've got, I know that the year 7 and 8 are East London indoor cricket champions, and we have the year 10s and year 7s are East London outdoor cricket champions, I believe it is. So they've got some more county finals, etc. to play in, but we're definitely getting a lot more cricket fixtures than maybe we did in the past, and the boys are doing fantastically well. Again, we're really lucky that when we try and put on an extracurricular club in a sport like handball or cricket or football, sort of the uptake in it from the boys is really strong. So naturally, we just try and put on some more. But yeah, loads going on, loads more to go on in the last half term. So busy year, but it's been well worthwhile.
Amazing. So was there an incident why you wanted to get someone involved in the cricket aspect, or was there a demand for it, or how did that go about?
I mean, no, sort of. We just had a vacancy in the department. Somebody came in, and I think he is quite enthusiastic about cricket, and there's just been more cricketers sort of coming through in the school at the moment, and yeah, I think that's what I really like about sort of the PE department that's in One Ventures is if a sport emerges that there's an interest there, we'll push it. We've even had a volleyball coach. One of our math teachers loves volleyball, Mr. Oliviero, and he's taken boys to Newham competitions for volleyball, and I think we won that a couple of years in a row, which was fantastic. That's not something that was necessarily always there, but so we got Mr. Templeman, didn't even think about that. Mr. Templeman's taking boys to a rugby competition in June. Again, not something that we would traditionally do, but there's an interest there, so we'll do it. And as a PE teacher, I think for me that's what I love the most is we're not just going to do traditional sports. If there's an opportunity to do something else, to do something new, then we'll do it. This year we've had teams in bocce, curling.
Curling?
Yeah, so there's different events, and but obviously that's amazing because we get to get completely different students representing the PE department. So yeah, we have our fantastic elite athletes in football, basketball, etc. But we also have young boys getting to represent the school in something different, which I think is really cool as well. But yeah, it's been really fun.
Curling, that was unexpected.
Yeah, so it's a local thing, and it was the same for bocce. And
sorry, bocce. What's
bocce is like, have you ever seen? The best way to describe it. So each team gets like a colour of balls where they'll. The first thing is they'll throw a white ball, which is like sort of almost what I consider the jack. It's a bit like bowls, similar.
Okay.
And then they have to get the closest to the jack sort of wins, and if they get several closest to the white ball, then they can get several points, etc. But they really enjoy it. Slightly less mobile sport, but yeah, we we've won that in East London in previous years. I don't think we won it this year, but we won it last year. But again, just a completely different group of boys that we get to represent the department, which is really, really nice. You know, the more boys we get representing school, doing physical activity and sport, you know, that's a big achievement. I think that's what we want. You know,
that's amazing. I love the fact that there is so much variety in whatever sport you want to do. Yeah. And you'll support that, and you excel in it because you're winning, you know. Yeah.
It's look, it's nice to win. Some of the events, you know, it probably is a little bit more about participation, but you know, obviously we are lucky, as I said, and blessed to have a lot of elite athletes at the school. Every year I've been here, they just seem to come through at St Bonds, and with the department we have, with the passion for sport and physical activity that the department has, we just push it. And again, you know, I mentioned that I started here as in my first year of being a teacher, and I've been spoiled really because I'm at a school that I think PE, sport and physical activity is super important. You know, again, I know that that's not always the case for PE across the country. Certain PE departments maybe have to fight a little bit more to get to do certain things. We're lucky. It's since day one that I've been here, it's been, you know, it's right at the centre of the school. It's a big part of the school's identity, I think. And, you know, I know that's been the case long before I was here. You know, we've mentioned some of the alumni, Jermaine. We've got Chris Hewton that was here a long time ago.
Yeah, Chris Hewton, yeah.
Yeah, you know, great guy. All of the ones that we've mentioned as well as, you know, have come back in. You know, Chris has come back, Jermaine has come back, Devine has come back, Jude has come back. And, you know, I think that's amazing that they just want to come back and speak to some of the boys. I think they really do remember St Bonaventure's as being a big part of their life, and you know, as a teacher, it's a nice gesture, I think.
Absolutely, like I said, it's a good reflection on what you're doing. The fact that, you know, you've got sports persons out there who actually come from the school and achieving Premier League status. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, how many are in the sports department? How many teachers?
So there's 9 of us in total, but there's, I mean, so much of us have different leadership positions. So 4 of the 9 are assistant head teachers. We've got 2 that are got leadership pastorally, and then there's myself and 2 other PE teachers in the department. So there's loads of expertise, loads of leadership, which really helps the boys, I think. And yeah, we all just sort of, you know, like any sports team, you know, we're a team. We chip in. We're all sort of part of that, and yeah, it's a nice environment, nice atmosphere to work in. To be fair, busy, really busy,
can you imagine?
but brilliant.
That's amazing. Your trophy cabinet must be so big. Yeah, come on now. It must be big.
Yeah, I think every year we sort of have to rejig it because there's just not enough to go into it at the moment. So we kind of like rejig it just to make sure that the more recent ones, or the national trophies, for example, are placed in the front. But yeah, it is something that a lot of visitors actually comment on, which again, you know, it's nice. And again, it's right in reception. You know, some trophy cabinets are in the PE department, ours is in reception, which again, I think is another indicator of how important sport and PE is in the school. The fact that it's one of the first things they see as they come into the reception area.
That's such a good reflection, again, on the school. You come in and you just see winning, winners, you know, and that is just so positive.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I think even you know, if you come into our school at break time, lunch time, the amount of boys that are active, I think that's a big indicator as well of how important you know, physical activity is in the school. Our playgrounds are filled with activity, and you know, no one's really standing about being stationary. I think that's a really big plus for us as well. You know, yes, we win at a lot of sports, but actually just inspiring boys to be active is a big part of our identity too. And yeah, I think we passed that one as well.
Brilliant. So this week is Mental Health Awareness Week, and sports and mental health obviously kind of go pretty much hand in hand in terms of helping with sports health. Any kind of sport activity kind of helps with your mental health. So how does the PE department support your students in terms of mental health? How do you do that?
I think there's probably a few different ways. I think first and foremost, as you mentioned, PE, sport, physical activity can be a very powerful tool in terms of improving and increasing mental health. And you know what, I always think back, one of the things that we tell the students was, you know, dreaded C word, going back and thinking about COVID, etc. I always remind students, of the power and the benefits of physical activity, as does the department. When we were in COVID, one of the first things that you were allowed to do was be active, right? It was one of the first restrictions that was lifted. And I always remind students of that. That is how important physical activity is to you and how important that can be. And we just educate them on what actually happens when you're active, the fact that your body will release serotonin, and that is, we keep telling them it's a happy hormone. You will feel better if you're active. So I think that's, actually educating them around the positives that I think a lot of students and people know the power of PE, sport, physical activity has physically, but mentally and socially, how it can benefit them. That's obviously that's part of the GCSE course, but we educate students on that from a very young age, the power that it actually can have. And I think secondly, when we think about mental health, I think it's obviously well documented now that, men maybe don't speak as much. And as an all boys school from 11 to 16, I think that what we do and can do is just role model the fact that it is absolutely okay to talk. And, part of that is building relationships with students, right? I always say, students will always have at least one teacher, hopefully more, but one teacher that they feel comfortable with. And, having been in a pastoral role myself, I just always encourage students to, talk to someone, and, it doesn't have to be me, but, make sure that you are talking to someone if you are having any concerns, any issues. And again, being a boys department and all men's department, I think it's really important just to model that in terms of building your relationships with the students, but also modeling excellence or role modeling the fact that it is completely okay to talk or be upset or whatever it might be. I think that's definitely something that we can do for sure.
That's really good, as I said, because it's mental health awareness week, so it's important to stress the relationship between mental health and sports. So it's good that the school obviously encourages that as well, a safe space for the young students.
Yeah, we've got loads of people at the school as well, loads of systems in place that support students if they ever are. I just think in the first instance, it normally is that teacher that they have that connection with. In the first instance, to actually reach out and talk to, and again, we're lucky at PE. I think we do have really good relationships with students because of all of the experiences that we've mentioned throughout this show. But as a result of that, I think students will come and talk to you, and we're really lucky we've got a lot of people who are trained in stuff like this in schools as well. It is a big focus, I think, in schools now. Mental health. It's definitely something we've got a lot more awareness to, and as a result of that, there's people in schools that are trained, etc., to support people.
Yeah, brilliant. So, just coming back to Soccer Aid for UNICEF, which is at the London Stadium, as mentioned, Twinfo is taking part in that.
Yeah.
Have you watched Soccer Aid for UNICEF at all? Or?
Yeah, so I think the last time it was at London Stadium I was there. Am I right in saying it's been at Old Trafford a couple of times?
Yeah, but it's still at London Stadium as well,
yeah. So the last time it was at London Stadium I was actually there. So yeah, and the fact that Jermaine is obviously involved, extra reason to go.
Yeah, so are you going to go into the London Stadium?
Yep, that's my plan.
Oh, okay, brilliant. So it's good. It's a good cause, Soccer Aid for UNICEF. So tickets are available. It's going to be at London Stadium at the 31st of May. Now, before we wrap things up, is there anything else you want to say about St Bond Sports before we close?
I suppose from my perspective, all I can say is that obviously being a PE teacher at St Bon's has been a fantastic experience for the last 10 years. I think, we do our best to give opportunities to every student to get involved in PE sport. I massively believe in the power of PE sport, and all I can do is express my gratitude specifically to the young people that have come into our school and the young people that have supported us in giving them the opportunities. People at Dagenham and Redbridge, for example, last week, etc. People like yourself coming to support the event, and just for essentially publicising it and sharing it in social media, etc. Just to really big up the experience of our young boys, because we're super, super proud of them, and it's just really nice that other people see that and share that as well. So we're really grateful.
So excited. So thank you very much for coming in. We're excited St Bon's. As I said, everyone keep an eye on St Bon's on their socials. Keep an eye out for their students out there. As I said, find current students, Amazing, well done, congratulations, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And after the break, we are going to be talking arts and culture with Rosetta Arts. So, yeah, thank you very much.
Two, one, five.
Hello and welcome back to Community Chat on 5FM. I'm Neandra, I'm the Arts and Culture Editor and Chief Reporter for New Voices, the independent newspaper. So if you missed our first half an hour, you missed a good chat with some on sports. So if you are on YouTube, please watch it again and please support our students because what they do is amazing. So for the next half an hour, we're going to be chatting arts and culture with Rosetta Arts. We have Felicia, who's in the studio with us today. And before we get chatting, I just want to mention a news story. Now, for those who are not watching on YouTube, I'm actually holding up a copy of the May edition of New Voices. If I just get that right into frame. Oh my God. There it is. Yeah, so one news story which I want to mention is Governor B. He's a triple MOBO award-winning musician, and he's just released his new album and film, which is called This Bed I Made, and he recently performed at the Nest Sessions, which is a really nice intimate gig in Shoreditch, and he very kindly arranged for me to actually attend the event. So I filmed some clips, and he gave me his permission for us to play the clips. So we're going to hear some of his music now. School friends took me to his crib and his deep touch. I spent my time there in E-Lab, videos on DVD, shouldn't have seen that. Been a couple decades, just had a and as you heard there, that was Governor B. His new album and film is released at the moment, so check him out on his social, check him out on YouTube. If you can go and see him live, go and do that because it's amazing. It's really good vibe. So yeah, thanks very much, Governor B, for arranging me to attend and for letting us play the clips. So, arts and culture in the studio, I'm chatting with Venetia.
Hello, lovely to see you.
Thank you very much. And you are the...
So I'm Deputy CEO at Rosetta Arts in West Ham.
Brilliant. Now, I love a fun fact about Rosetta Arts, which I really want people to know about, and that is Lee Alexander McQueen. Yes, I said Lee Alexander McQueen, as in Alexander McQueen, the brand. The man behind the brand, who actually grew up in Newham. He was born in, I think, South London, but he was actually went to primary school, secondary school, college in Newham. He actually has a connection to Rosetta Arts. So please just invite our listeners and tell them the connection, please.
Yeah, so the founder of Rosetta, she's called Yvonne Humble, and she started it in 1993 in the back of Rosetta Arts Primary School. So that's why it's called Rosetta Arts. Rosetta Primary School. And after that time, it was just community workshops, and it's kind of reacting to what the community wanted, making sure that their courses were kind of bespoke. And Alexander McQueen came to her before applying to art school for help, and she helped him to develop his skills and his portfolio and helped him to get into art school.
That is so amazing because obviously everyone knows about Alexander McQueen. I mean, Catherine, Princess of Wales, she wore the Queen dress even for the coronation, the Queen. So whenever you see the name Lee Alexander McQueen, please know and associate it with Rosetta Arts, which is based in Newham, and that is something that's amazing. I'm the creative director for Lee's Newham Heritage Blue plaque, and we unveiled that in 2023, and we had Yvonne's names actually on the plaque as well. So
perfect, yeah.
it's just amazing. So I just love that to connect Rosetta Arts, like literally, it has a connection to the Alexander McQueen. That's just amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's a lovely connection, and it's really nice to kind of have that claim to fame. And then we also still do artist development in lots of different ways, and we basically ask local artists who have faced all sorts of different barriers to come and get onto our artist development programs. And a recent one last year, actually, I was on maternity leave, but Sally Barton, who was on the one last year, is now being exhibited in the Saatchi Gallery. And actually that's around the FA Cup, so a real link to the last bit of chat that you had. Yeah, so we're still working hard to try and get, grassroots artists seen and connected with kind of world-class institutions.
So what are they doing at the gallery? What's happening?
So they were part of an exhibition around the FA Cup there, actually. So yeah, it was on, I think it was just the 9th and 10th of May, so I'm not sure it's still on now, but it's just really exciting to see the artists recognised that we've been working with. So we do like masterclasses and mentoring and like one-to-one coaching with artists who are from the local area, and then we try and connect them as well. They might say, oh, my ideal mentor is so-and-so, and then we try our best to get them linked up with this mentor, and then that can really just push them forwards in their career and so on. I'm not taking the credit, and we're definitely not taking the credit for Sally Barton's work. She's obviously very hardworking and very skilled. The people that we work with, we're lucky that talent wants to come and work with us, but then we try and connect them a little bit further so they can keep pushing through, because it's hard in the creative industries, and you really need to just keep working in order to get anywhere, don't you? Neandra.
It's great that you can support, and then you've got a platform where people can come and you nurture them, basically.
Yeah, and so we're always trying to do that, look for different ways, get different pots of funding to do that, and that's what we do in the office, basically. We're always just trying to look for opportunities to support local people.
So what do you cover? You cover fashion, you cover art, what areas do you cover?
Yeah, so we're mainly visual arts, but we do kind of, do any kind of work that's around the arts and sort of social cohesion as well. So that's what the Loved and Wanted programme is that we're going to talk about in a bit, but mainly visual arts. So historically, I guess it's been like, fashion, textiles, photography, anything from like oil painting, and then for things like Newham Heritage Month, we might have had the opportunity to go and do some really interesting, intricate and kind of diverse workshops in like Chinese silk painting, which is obviously quite expensive to facilitate, but we want to make sure that it's free. So once we get the funding, we can go and do that. And like Kente Club, for example, and we did sort of some Pearly Kings and Queens stuff as well. Put a little bit of Cockney stuff in there. So yeah, a bit of a mixture. We really try to be diverse and representative. Just because Newham is the most diverse borough, isn't it? So we just got so many wonderful skills on our doorstep that we're trying to harness.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So you mentioned your project that you're doing at the moment. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so Loved and Wanted. So we're about to launch that on Thursday. I'd say you're very welcome, go to our website and click on, because we're nearly sold out on tickets. It's going to be really exciting. It's actually a Mayor of London commission for community spaces, and it's across London. And so Rosetta is lucky enough to be one of those spaces and take advantage of it through our arts programming, just bringing people together. So Thursday's going to be really fun because it's our little plaque unveiling. That's with James Asser, the local MP for West Ham and Beckton. And we've just had confirmed today that we're getting the London Deputy Mayor, Debbie Weeks-Bernard, is coming. She's Deputy Mayor for Communities and Social Justice. She's also going to come and speak. So that's lovely. And then we've got a free glass painting workshop. We've got lots of orchestra performing. You can have a little tour of our pottery studio, see if you might want to come do some pottery, and various other stands and events. So yeah, that's on Thursday. And we've got another 21st of May. And then the next big event will be June the 11th, and that's with Arts Homelessness International, who are doing like a book launch and another exhibition. So yeah, it's going to be lots of things coming up. So just, keep an eye on our website and see what you want to come to, basically.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So this project you're doing, is it
It's called Loved and Wanted, and that's the name from the Mayor of London. So it's a 2-year initiative, and it's across 30 different spaces in London. And yeah, so basically we want to provide free activities in order to bring different members of the community together. And we're the only space in Newham, so we really want to take advantage, and do our best with it.
Wow. So just Rosetta Arts is the only one from Newham who's part of this.
Part of that commission, yeah, exactly, yeah. But we've got nearby as well, there's Bromley by Bow. There's one there as well, but just for this borough, yeah.
That's amazing. What kind of activities are going to take part?
So really, as I was saying, like culturally diverse activities. So we've got Persian Kashmiri block printing coming up. It's usually on a Saturday. There'll always be free activities there. We're also starting a film club with a local community producer called Sweater, and she brought in previously a lot of the Sri Lankan and Tamil residents. She did this amazing exhibition at Rosetta, so we wanted to work with her again and see what we could do. And we're going to do the system of voting for which films people would like to see, and then doing little memory archive workshops afterwards to talk about traditions from different countries and what home means to people, and then we can exhibit that as well. So it's going to be fun.
Oh wow! So is that going to be across the 2 years? Or?
Yeah, across the 2 years, exactly. We haven't quite piloted that, but it should be in June that we're going to start the film clubs and the memory archive workshops. But we're going to have activities all across the 2 years and various events across that as well. Yeah.
So is that for a typical age range, or is it for all ages or abilities, or?
Yeah. Good question. We are going to do things that are probably more family centric, and so we'll make a note of that when those opportunities come up. And I suppose mainly just because it's mostly visual arts what we're doing, but there's opportunities as well to come and steer our programming. So it's you're reimbursed for your time if you want to come and be on the youth steering group, or if you want to be on our adult steering group. And we've got a community consultation coming up for that as well, where you get paid 30 quid towards shopping, just to let us know what you might need, and if you wanted to represent a part of your community, to say, this would really help us and this will bring people together. And we know food is a major part of bringing people together, so we're always trying to pitch for more funding to do arts and food projects as well, so look out for that as well coming up.
That's brilliant. Is there going to be any opportunities for local schools to be involved with this initiative, or what's happening there?
That's a really great question. We're working in local schools with 2 different programs, mainly the Eco Trust, which is Gainsborough right next to us, and then we've got Kaizen up the road, and we've also got Earlham next year for year 4s and year 5s. One of them's around like destigmatizing mental health, and the other program is arts-based learning in the science and history curriculum. So we're going to exhibit some of those works through the Loved and Wanted program, so you can come and see what the kids have been up to, and they can be really proud of all their work as well, that they're showing it off to the public in our spaces. And otherwise, yes, families are welcome to come in and join in on these events, for example, and there are often going to be activities that, like that block printing is going to be for all ages, for example, if they want to come along.
That's really good. That's good that you're kind of interacting with the schools. I heard the mental health subject you mentioned because it's Mental Health Week. I mean, can you tell us a bit more about that project?
So that was really nice. It was also looking at the syllabus, the art syllabus for Year 4, but it was around portraiture and recognising, you know, everyone's different and unique and very special in their own ways. And also just kind of our approach had to be trauma informed, so we trained up all of our facilitators to make sure that they were approaching it and designing the programme in a trauma-informed way, and also everyone had mental health first aid training. But then it was also to raise awareness amongst families and parents around mental health and what that means, and why it's not a bad thing to talk about it. In fact, it's a very good thing to talk about it, and the services that are available in the local area. And actually, we just met with I don't know if you know Time for Young People. They're in Plaistow, and they've got this amazing hub there, which I've only just become aware of. So they're going to have a stand on Thursday as well to spread awareness. But they've got this amazing hub for 8 to 13-year-olds where they can come and chat and do art activities there as well, or have one-to-one help in a little room, which is, you know, got lots of sensory bits and bobs in it as well, just to relax. So yeah, it's nice. We're just looking out for opportunities to work with everyone nearby, and you know, I guess we're trying our best, but we start from sort of primary age upwards, I would say, with what we're doing. Yeah.
What's been the feedback from the students? What has been their impression of it?
Really sweet and very honest feedback. You know, sometimes I might say, I've struggled with this technique, but I've really improved in my confidence once you've worked with me on it, and I actually felt like I did a great job. And so that's been really lovely. You can see the difference from the beginning of the project to the end of the project, of like, oh, I can work in this technical skill, I feel confident, I actually, you know, really like art and I'm good at it. And that's the kind of feedback that you'll get at that age, but it means a lot, I would say. Yeah.
That's really good. I have to admit, because I always remind myself to not underestimate primary school students and what they can do, and the way they articulate themselves as well. It's just, yeah. It's
so sweet. They have these postcards to their future selves that they do as well, and they're like, don't forget that you're really good. Often it's like, don't forget you're really good at football, actually.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, you're meant to be talking about art, but they can talk about whatever they want to talk about. So, you know, they're sort of bigging themselves up, which is just amazing. Yeah.
It's really good that you're working with the local schools as part of this project, which first, the only one in Newham that is going to be doing that.
Yeah, no, we're really excited about it. I mean, I hope it can carry on past the 2 years. It would just be fantastic. But for now, we're just really pleased that we can use the space in that way, and just try and get more different members of the community in that might not have traditionally come to us to like go and do an art course, but just literally anyone around nearby who's like, you know, auntie, come along and have a bit of food and maybe watch this film or something. We're just trying to engage a bit better, because it's like a really residential area, and I feel like we always could do with more visibility. So thank you for this as well.
Yeah.
I really appreciate this.
That's amazing. So you mentioned stands. What stands are going to be there? Are going to be local people staying? What's going to be happening?
Yeah, so it's more like local services, like Time for Young People's coming, and then Eastall Exchange is coming as well. And then we've got, I don't know if you know Marilyn, she's from Eastall Exchange. She does this amazing initiative as well with local refugees and asylum seekers.
So what's that again? Can you see that?
Marilyn from Eastall Exchange. She's also works with these amazing refugees and asylum seekers on a different program. I think it's called Citizen Social Scientists. So that's a brilliant one. I'm hoping a lot of them will come along. They've also been making art. So it sort of sometimes feels like everyone's making art in the borough, and we're not kind of shouting out about enough. So I hope we will get to exhibit some of their artwork, because it's fantastic. It's been about sort of being a new arrival in the area and what that's meant to them, and the support they've needed, and just their experiences basically. So yes, and who else we've got Fun Palace is coming.
What's that, sorry?
So they're a really nice initiative. I think they're London wide actually, and they have, I think, October the 2nd to the 4th is Fun Palace's special day where they get all the organisations that they're partnered with to do specific, really fun social activities. So they're going to come in and they're going to do some plasticine modelling, and you can put your wishes on a little washing line as to what you'd like for the local area. Yeah, it's just a very artsy approach to giving feedback and kind of saying, come on, we really actually can do with this, and no one's listening, but how can you help us, you know?
Oh wow, sounds amazing. So it's going to be on Thursday the 21st, and what time?
So 5:30 to 8:30 that event, and then similarly there's one in on June the 11th, same timings as well. So yeah, just check it out and come along.
What's happening in June?
So June the 11th is the event with Arts Homelessness International, and it's like a book launch and an exhibition. And it's going to be a panel discussion with some academics around arts and homelessness. I think it's the first book of its kind, and it's a professor from the University of Warwick is coming in, who has written the book. And we've looked, basically, a lot of their artists have to have had the lived experience of being homeless in some way. And there are still really high rates here in Newham. I think one of the highest boroughs for that as well in London. So they thought it would be really brilliant to come, and they've joined up with us on Loved and Wanted to come and deliver that. But there's always free activities to do and snacks and chats. So that's, you know, mainly the social element is what we're trying to emphasise. Just come along.
Yeah. Now, for this Love and Wanted?
Loved and Wanted.
Loved and Wanted, sorry.
Right.
Are you going to have, you said much plaque or something? It's going to be an unveiling?
Yeah, so James Asser and Debbie Weeks Bernard are going to unveil the plaque, which is really nice. And I think all the 30 spaces have got a plaque on them now, and everyone's just launching at different times.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's what it is, just to say we're here and we would like you to come in and engage and, you know, do some fun free things with us. And yeah, just enjoy the space. Yeah.
Cool. And the plaque, what's the plaque about? Has it got a message or?
It is very literal. It's just literally, they sent it to us and it's the Loved and Wanted plaque. So it's not quite like your beautiful artworks, Neandra. I think you've been doing murals and collage and all sorts of things. Doing a few things here and there. But yeah, so it's a very bright, beautiful plaque, but it's kind of recognisable. It needs to be recognisable to be like, this is the place that you can come to out of those spaces. And hopefully people will start, you know, that will start ringing bells across London when they see a little plaque like that. Oh, that's a Loved and Wanted space. I wonder what I can go in and do there. And it's been all sorts of different spaces, like the Albany down in Deptford. It's not all arts though, like it can be a food bank, and some of them are religious spaces as well. But a lot of it is about interfaith work. So if it is a religious space, say like a church or a church hall, it's not about just bringing in Christians, it's about bringing in all the different faiths of the area. Yeah. So same applies for us. So yeah, we're always trying to do that.
I'm just still getting it around my head that it's just one organisation in Newham that was picked, and that was your organisation. How does that feel, like, to be representing Newham amongst the London boroughs?
Well, now you say it, I mean, you know, A, thanks for the big up, and B, like, oh, pressure. No, I'm joking, it's not pressure, it's so welcome. We're just really, really pleased, and we hope it can mean a lot more for, again, just like local visibility, like come and take advantage of this building, because there's definitely pockets of, you know, where is the culture, where do I go to in Newham for, you know, just to enjoy a little bit of culture, and you don't even have to see it like that, but just come along and have a snack and chat to your neighbours as well.
It's nice coming together. So apart from your project, what else do you got going on that people can kind of like be involved in?
Yeah, so we try and, you're talking about mental health, of course, so creative health is really important to us, and what we try and do is a little bit of social prescribing to our activities, like we've got urban gardening, and we run that at St Luke's Community Centre in Canning Town. So it's you can come and join the over 50s group and do arts and gardening there. And then we've also got another in-schools programme as part of urban gardening. So that is, you'd have to be part of the school to come and do that. And then, yeah, for the Loved and Wanted activities, come and join those. We've also just got, you know, art classes and courses that you can come and join in with. We've got a lovely new creative programmer who is just really interested in working in as many different art forms as possible. And then sometimes we host other organisations, like we had New Music doing a careers fair. So yeah, it's always just worth having a look to see what's coming up on the events page, because, you know, we're 5 minutes from the tube, so.
West Ham Station.
Yeah, West Ham Station.
That's amazing. So it's good that you work with other organisations in you as well.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. Yes, I think it's got to be a partnership approach, just to try and reach as many people as you can, really. So yeah, we've always enjoyed that, and yeah, long may it continue. I think Neum is such a fantastic place for community. It's always so friendly and welcoming, and lots of different perspectives and lots of different experiences.
That's brilliant. I've just been told we're almost out of time. That went so quick. It was just been so good to get you guys in here. And like I said, I know this might be a little bit out there, but you know, you guys representing Newham, lots of London boroughs.
We're trying our best, but I just want to say quickly, we can't do it without anybody, you know, actual Newham residents, and we really want your voice in the programme. So come and be part of the steering group and tell us what you want.
Absolutely. On their websites, on their socials. Come along to their event on the 21st of May.
Yes, yeah, 5:30 to 8:30, and it's 1 Hamilton Road, 5 minutes from West Ham Station. And yeah, there's free parking if you need it, so just come along. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for coming to Community Chat. Thank you very much for watching on YouTube and waving. Thank you very much for listening and supporting Community Chat, and we'll be back very soon. So, yay! Thank you very much.
Thanks, Neandra.